Hello, welcome back to Fire Emblem. More stuff, more tutorials, more. Thieves can use picks to pick things. You can pick locks on treasure chests and doors and all sorts of stuff. Oh good, now I know why he's taking orders from me. Now it all makes sense. It actually is kind of weird in Fire Emblem Awakening when your tactician doesn't really get any explanation for why he can just suddenly command people that show up in the middle of battle. I don't know, I found it weird anyways. They might be the triggers, huh? Okay. Oh, and I have to move Wrath. Why Wrath? I don't know. Yeah, this kind of automatically made Wrath a kind of a useless character for me. I wonder if characters actually have unique bits of dialogue for when they press the switches, because you kind of have agency after this for what you want to do. A handy little, not so much ability, but just sort of a use for clerics when they don't have anything to heal, because you can just send them to houses and stuff when you don't want to send one of your actual combat classes. So that's nice. But isn't it weird how thief is just sort of a job in fantasy world so much? It's just like, oh yeah, go get a thief, you know, one of them. Like, thief is generally a title applied to people who steal, but this is just like, oh yeah, thieves, you know, with their multiple skills. You know, go over to the thief guild and get some thieves. But yeah, completely alternate way to play. You can get door keys from a bunch of enemies and people and stuff. So that's kind of nice. They're giving you a little bit of freedom though. They're making you do both anyways, kind of, so yeah. And actually, I'm pretty sure that keys carry over from one mission to another, so you could probably stockpile them and then throw them all in like random doors and stuff if you don't want to put Matthew in your party later on. And yeah, you should use keys instead of the lockpicks though, because lockpicks I haven't really seen much of in this game so far, so I think they might be a bit hard to get. But yeah, something else about Matthew, he can actually steal from other units, and this usually isn't all that special. It's usually just really bland stuff, like you can steal a vulnerary or something like that, so it's not that great, but sometimes you can steal like a lockpick or something, little things that aren't all that common, so it's kind of handy when that happens. So yeah, at this point I'm just desperately trying to make good use of Florina, more or less. Everyone else is pretty easy, but there's Florina. Good old Death EXP. So yeah, there aren't a terribly large amount of enemies in this stage, so you can afford to be kind of reckless, but the only thing really to focus on is the treasure chests and doors and stuff like that. Yay, Florina, you're useless. mean, useful. Wow, force of habit, I guess. It's a very big chest, like the size of a mountain according to Fire Emblem, maybe even bigger. And apparently I said no. I was kind of hoping to get the treasure chest, maybe something shiny inside, and I like shiny things. But yeah, so they're gonna have to explain why I can steal treasure chests from random people, so that's what I do. Advance on a reward. I'd rather just steal, but whatever. Yeah, do they really have to tell you to move your unit to every single thing they tell you to do? I mean, this doesn't have any concept of letting the player figure things out. Like, there's no organicness to it. It's not like, this chest can be picked, and then you think, oh, well, I have a thief, so I'll pick it. It's just like, this chest can be picked. Also, thieves have picks. You can use these picks to pick locks. Chests have locks that can be picked. Move your thief over to the chest and use them to pick the lock of the treasure chest. This will cause the lock to be picked, which will allow you to find what is inside the treasure chest, which can only be done when the lock is picked, by moving your thief over to the chest to pick the lock. But yes, this is our introduction to stat boosting items. These are very rare, but as they say, you really should use them if you don't want to waste them. Cause, I mean, if you just hang on to them for the entire game, because that. But don't be careless with them. You want to use them on someone who needs them. I personally like using health boosts on fragile classes, but I know a lot of people like using them on stronger classes. Like if someone already has tons of HP, give them more, and they're even more powerful, so it's pretty nice. But I think that it works as a nice balance for Urk and that kind of thing. But yeah, besides that, there's power boosting things that increase your strength or magic. There's, I can't remember what else. I think there's something that increases your movement speed. There might just be sacred stones, I don't know. Oh, they have the ability to open doors and chests, huh? Oh yeah, items can break. I forgot about that. Right. Okay. No way, really, huh? That's kind of weird. I like how these optional places actually give you insight onto the story and even give you preemptive spoilers and stuff like that. I like how the beige houses have no purpose to close their gates, so they just don't. Meanwhile, the red ones will always lock up after you visit them. Because these are just giving you random bits of trivia, so they don't really have any reason to do that, but the whole purpose of talking to them in the first place is getting them to lock up so that you can actually, you know, not have them be destroyed, and yeah, it's kind of weird. didn't actually test this, but I'm pretty sure you have to have your units all wait on top of the switch, or otherwise they'll become depressed. Kind of awkward trying to make the most of your units when stuff like this happens. Where they're just far away enough that you can't really do much. And yeah, that was kind of a weird little... Do you see that? Talk. Good old Sarah. Yeah, I don't really, this is kind of weird. You can talk to these people at random as far as I can tell. It's kind of strange. Like, I'm wondering now if there was actually other stuff like that, because I didn't ever get the chance to find out. But yeah, just completely by chance I found that, and it's so weird. I'm not really sure what they meant by that either. I haven't gotten far enough in the story to understand why he said that. So that's about the items. You have to manually use them, so make sure you have the time for it. But yeah, Urk is now significantly more viable, even though he was already a fantastic character. So now its HP is significantly higher, and that makes him significantly more useful. He can't die as quick, and that's always a good thing. I miss the 2D animation of Fire Emblem. The 3D animation of Awakening is good, but just not as good as others. Now, the 2D animation has this sort of slick stylishness to it that isn't really present in other. It's not impossible to capture that. You know, it's perfectly practical to create 3D animation that's just as good as 2D animation. It just takes talent, but I guess not everyone has that yet. So yeah, in case you haven't figured out yet, one switch leads to another. But yeah, see what I mean by there not being a terribly large amount of enemies in this stage? There's been like, what, 5 so far? Of course, that means not much EXP for our cleric. Poor Lyn hasn't really done anything. I just realized there's just a door command. I wonder if it actually chooses whether or not you use the key or a pick. No, I was doing. I don't know what I did there. Yeah, that's not terribly scene-like, so I guess that's just generic dialogue with their face plastered over it. Yes, those armored fellows, very, very tough. That's why there's a certain other thing you can do. See, that's one of the many benefits of Urk right there. He can pierce armor with his magic. See, look at that, 20 damage as opposed to the 8 that would normally be done. I love how boss will give these boisterous threats, but then your character is literally just out of range of actually being able to, you know, hit them. But yeah. Now, I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure that mages have very mid-tier growth chances. But yes, the boss isn't what ends this chapter. Remember, you have to click on the switches. That was a bit of stupid on my part. Should have done something, maybe moved in my cleric to do some healing. I don't know. I completely forgot the archer was there. Yep. Now I just have to make the slow progress of Matthew over to that chest. Better be good. I really wish they implemented something where once all the enemies are gone, you can just move infinitely rather than having to wait turns. Because, I don't know, this is just a waste of time. It's not that big of a deal, but still. Ooh, an Armor Slayer. This is how you're supposed to kill that boss. And of course they have to explain it. Yeah, Armor Slayer isn't really clear enough. I figured it was weak against armor. That makes sense. Or maybe it's magic. Yes. But yes, Armor Slayers are they kind of create the same effect that arrows have on Pegasus Knights. They will do significantly more damage to armored people, such as the boss. But yeah, piercing magic's just as good. Something that's actually notable about these kinds of weapons is that oftentimes they'll actually end up being a weapon type that is weak against that particular type of thing, like say a sword that can, I don't know, attack a lance or something like that. So even though they'll say it's weaker, it's actually a stronger weapon. But yeah, they're just now explaining that some people can't use other items. Who would have thought? But yeah, treasure chests gotten. I'm glad I took the time to get that, because Armor Slayers are pretty nice. And with that, we're good to go. So, with that, I think it's time to see you next time.